Hi, my name's MJ. Thanks so much for dropping in today. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, my focus is all things green and environmentally friendly. Well, today's video is entitled Natural Ways to Fall Asleep, and it was inspired when my friend Josh recently said that sleep is free medicine. Now, Josh doesn't take credit for coining this phrase, but it's really true, and when he said it, I started to think about how much trouble I've had in the past going to sleep, and how as I've gotten older, and certainly through menopause, sleep has become more and more difficult to attain sometimes. So I thought I would share the things that I've learned, and hopefully they can help you. Caffeine. We all know it has the potential to keep us awake, but I think for every person it's really different. As I've gotten older, I've become less and less tolerant. At this point, I basically can't have anything containing caffeine after noon hour if I want to sleep that night. Whereas my husband can have a cup of coffee after dinner or right before bed and still fall asleep with no problem. My suggestion for you is that you figure out when that buzz is keeping you from sleeping and respect it. Sugar is another one of those mixed blessings. It tastes so great, but it has so many negative effects on the body. One of them, unfortunately, is keeping you awake. For me, it's mostly refined sugar that's the problem, but fruit also contains sugar. If you Google how much sugar one should have in a day, you'll find 25 grams for women and I believe 37 grams for men. When you think of the fact that a medium apple has 19 grams of sugar and a medium banana has 14 grams of sugar, that's a substantial amount. And if you're eating fruit at night, even though it's natural sugar, it still unfortunately can keep you awake. Exercise is wonderful, and although it's not my goal here to shit all over you, everyone really should be doing exercise to the extent that they are able and in the way that they are able. However, the things that make exercise good for you, the fact that it wakes you up, that it gets your blood pumping, it gets you ready to move and gets you thinking clearly, those are also things you maybe don't want in the evening. So it's best to do your exercise earlier in the day if possible. Of course, many of us can't work out until later in the evening after school, after work, but hopefully, if you think perhaps your exercise might be interfering with your sleep, you can try to plan to do it earlier rather than later in the day. I know, how do we live without them? TV, phones, tablets, they're everywhere and we're on them all the time. Unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, the reality is that the blue light messes with our circadian cycle, which is our sleep cycle, and our natural production of melatonin, which helps us sleep. Not to mention, have you ever gotten one of those late night emails with either good news or bad news that just set you spinning in either a positive or negative direction? That'll keep you awake for sure. So if you're having trouble getting to sleep at night and you find that you are on screens right up until the time you go to sleep, you might want to start turning those screens off earlier. When I was researching, I found they say 4 to 5 hours before sleep, but I don't know if that's even realistic. So even just try whatever you can do, even if you do an hour before you go to sleep, it might help you. Yes, of course you don't want to go to sleep on a full stomach. You know what that feels like. But having a small snack of some carbs and some fat a few hours before bed will actually increase your serotonin and help you to sleep. I will often have a couple of rice cakes or some crackers with some seed butter, and if you eat dairy, a little bit of cheese is a great fat to try. It's a tale as old as time, but it really works. Sitting in the water, doing some deep breathing, or listening to some soothing music, or maybe both, might just do the trick. I used to think that meditating was this mysterious thing that only a few gifted people could do. I mean, my mind is always racing. I can't imagine actually having it still. Then 2 years ago, a friend suggested I try an app called Calm. It's about learning to live in the present. Yes, there are times to go back into the past. Yes, there are times when we have to plan for the future. Of course we do. But really, the best place to be is here and now. These are all great lessons at any time of the day. But especially at night, I find when I'm having trouble going to sleep, often it's because I'm thinking about either something that's already happened, which I can't change, or something that I don't even know if it's going to happen. The lesson from Calm is to try and come into the here and now and just relax. Calm offers guided and unguided meditations, soothing sleep stories, and even a breathing bubble to help you just breathe deeply and come into the present, even if you only have 1 or 2 minutes. The lessons I've learned through this app are really helpful when trying to fall asleep. I don't know if I should be embarrassed to say this or not, but Calm is only one of 2 apps I've purchased, and it's 100% worth it. Keeping a gratitude journal is so simple, but it really does make a difference. Just keep a small book like this one by your bed, and before you go to sleep, take out your pen and write down between 5 and 10 things that you are grateful for that day. And the things you're grateful for can be everyday things. The sun came out, there was a cool breeze, you got into the short line at the checkout counter and it actually moved. Anything that you felt grateful for. And it could even be the same thing as the day before. What it really does is put you in a positive state of mind so that you can fall asleep. If you're going to sleep, you need a room that is dark and quiet. Unfortunately, sometimes the room we sleep in is not dark and quiet, in which case we employ toys. My friend told me about these earplugs. So they're made of foam, and you squeeze them down really small, and then you just pull your ear back a little bit, insert them into the canal, and then they puff back out, and they block the sound. They're the coolest thing. If you're not an earplug kind of person, another way to tackle sound is to ironically add more sound. And that can be done using a white noise machine. This kind of machine helps to drown out sounds which might either keep you from falling asleep or cause you to wake up once you are asleep. And my final suggestion is to try a diffuser and use some calming essential oils such as lavender to help you fall asleep. Just place it beside the bed, a few drops in the water, and between that and your sleep stories and all the other things you've done, hopefully you'll have a good night's sleep. If you've enjoyed today's video and found it interesting and informative, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos. Thanks so much for dropping in. See you next time.